Hey y'all, welcome back to another one of my videos, and today we're going to be making a junk case for my new phone. So the first thing you want to do with any junk case is sand it down, whether it's with a file or with a nail drill like I'm taking here, and you want to make sure that you etch the entire thing. You don't want to leave any shine, and you can also rub this down with some acetone too, just to wipe away some of that shininess. Just in case you're wondering, the reason why we need to sand everything down is because it makes sure everything lays properly. With the resin, it's just a lot better that it adheres with a little bit of a roughened up surface. This goes for the same thing for applying anything. Down to nails, down to painting stuff. You usually want to work down on a nice sand down even surface. And this just ensures that everything's smoothed out and everything adheres to the case properly. So with this, you see I'm rubbing it down just with a little bit of acetone. This also removes some of the dust, but once again, we want to make sure that everything's kind of roughened up, smoothed out. Next, I'm going to be using some UV resin. You can get this off of Amazon. It's fairly easy to buy off Amazon. They're usually kind of cheap, but I enjoyed this. I also have some other brands that I enjoy. I can link them down in the description below, but they're all on Amazon. So I like to put a good amount of dollop on there, and then I just kind of like to smooth everything out. So I kind of work in sections, just to make sure everything's nice and smooth and laid out properly. All right, so everything's kind of smoothed out by this point, and I made the biggest oops in the world, y'all. Like, I accidentally flipped over the paper towel, so I had to throw away that paper towel and just smooth out that area again. But I'm going in with some gold flakes, just to kind of act as kind of a background. There's sometimes you want to add glitter, or sometimes you can just leave it clear depending on how crowded you want your case to be. I've also currently thought about doing cases where, like, just colored cases, so that way I don't have to add a background, where I can just add my clear resin and then just start laying on charms. So in a few, I'm going to introduce our charms. Our charms are actually charms. Funny enough, I mistakenly bought a whole bunch of, like, the charm decals for Crocs, and I had to cut the back of them. So I just nipped the back of them with some nippers, and there are a whole bunch of really cute Hello Kitties, but I really forgot to read the fine print. So that was very much on me. But after you snip the back, you can just literally place them on to the case with resin as you would any normal charms, and they work perfectly. Some of these charms also are just some regular excess nail charms I had from when I was first starting out doing nails, and I bought a whole bunch of charms because I thought everybody would like charms, because during that time, charm junk nails were in when I started doing nails, and as soon as I officially like started, it faded out very quickly. So I have a lot of leftover like big bulky charms, and that's when I started doing junk cases, and honestly it's paid off. Okay, so right here I am adding a whole bunch of different pearls. Now this is very spaced out because some of the pearls kept flipping over, so you're gonna see me like messing with them, trying to flip them back over. But I just kind of put them on all different places, all different colors. I included pretty much all the colors that were in the pack. And once all the pearls were in the right place and all the charms look good, I'm going to sit the lamp on it for about 60 seconds. And I did 2 rounds of this. You can do 1 if you want to, but I always do 2 just to make sure the entire case is fully cured. Once the second wave of curing was done, I just go back in with my resin and I'm going over top all the charms. Now beforehand, I never did this, but I realized that a lot of my charms were fading on the cases and stuff like that. And I used to ask some other people who I made cases for, and they were talking about the same issue. So as you're seeing, I'm just going over with the nozzle and just painting over pretty much all of the charms, and I go in with a paintbrush just to smooth it out. But this is so that way all the color cures in the resin, so I don't have to deal with any type of bumps and bruises on any of the charms, and none of the charms kind of lose their color. So while you're smoothing out, one of the main mistakes that I made is I didn't add enough resin. So when you look at it up close on my case, you do see some parts where it has more resin on the case than others. So I probably should have went in with a huge glob of resin and then smoothed it out from there so that way it can be even all throughout the case. So as I was painting, I realized that my kiss charm, literally, I guess with the heat and the resin, it kind of melted. This is literally the only charm that did that. So I just kind of, wiped out the paint and continued kind of painting the resin just so that I can make sure that everything is covered. And then we're just going to sit that in the lamp for another 60 seconds. You can do 2 rounds of this. I can't remember if I did 1 or 2, but I think I probably did 2 to be on the safe side. And once your case has completely dried in the lamp, you want to just wash it with soap and water, give it a nice scrub to get the stickiness off, and then your case is done.